If you know where you're going and you want to bring on next gen shareholders and that's the right person, well, you can say, absolutely, let's have a conversation about that because that is in alignment with my end game. Helps you make decisions so much easier, so much quicker, and it removes the brain fog and the confusion of having to make those decisions because you just know where you're going. Hi there, Josh here. Welcome to another episode of the Ignite podcast. Now today, I want to talk to you all about the importance of knowing what your end game is. Now, I'm obviously going to give you context, but understanding, like I call this in our world, your North Star, like understanding where are you taking your business, where are you taking your life, what do you want to achieve, and how do all the things that come at you every single day either fit into that or help you towards that or pull you further away. So the power of knowing what your end game is. So I'm going to give you a story or an example. We are fresh off, literally 20 minutes ago, just finished up we catch up fortnightly with our 2 million plus mastermind founders. So we have a program called Boardroom, and then within Boardroom, anyone doing over 2 million per year gets invited into our mastermind group where we just work more exclusively with individuals doing 2 million plus. So we've got founders in there doing 2 million, 4 million, 7 million. So just the conversations are very, very different. And one of our members today shared that he's been approached by someone to buy his business. And he's just like, it's left me really rattled and confused. Like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to approach it. And, you know, Josh, can you help me and talk me through the process? So like it was amazing actually. We had there was about 8 of us on the call. We had a really great discussion. Some businesses have been through the M&A process. Obviously I've been through it 8 times. So I kind of know the journey from our perspective. But we just had a great discussion around the M&A process and giving him comfort around sort of what's going to happen next and what could happen. And, you know, this is how to answer those questions and that sort of thing. But the reason for sharing that story is like his homework or his takeaway or his work on from today's call is not about any of like the numbers or the technical stuff. It's actually to go away and think about, well, what is his end game? What is he working towards? What's really meaningful to him in his life? Because as one of our other members highlighted on the call, it's like, sure, you could get a bunch of money for your business, but what are the other less tangible things that you get by being a business owner? So really thinking about like, what is my end game and why did I start this business and what do those things mean to me? And a lot of that stuff's hard to put a dollar value on, but it's stuff like, you know, the freedom and the flexibility to take more than 4 weeks leave a year. It's the freedom and flexibility to pick your kids up from soccer. It's the ability to just take a long weekend and take the family away to the beach or snorkeling or what have you. It's the ability to call your own shots and be the master of your own destiny and have the ability to, as some of our members today put, not report to anyone. So you've got to really understand and know what your end game is, because I'm using our clients or our members' story from today to highlight that, like, when you're not clear on what your end game is, it causes confusion. And so our clients say, I was like, I'm just confused. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. And it's actually taking up a lot of brain space. And as I said, yeah, like the M&A process is really time consuming. Like you have to really want to go down that path to invest all of that time, because once you sign the NDA and once you start to exchange data of your business to there, you then like the lawyers and the accountants get involved and like the negotiations started. It can be very, very distracting. And obviously that's part of your end game and part of your strategy. Like you're there for that because that's part of your end game and part of your strategy. But if it's just something that you're not like, yeah, maybe we'll see what they offer me and see what they come back with and that sort of stuff, it can be a massive time suck for no benefit. So I'm using that story to highlight why it's so important to know what your end game is. Now, there's 2 ways to extract value from your business, and we talked about this on today's call. One of the saddest things that I see is business owners getting to a point like mid to late 50s, early 60s, and they just haven't thought about how they're going to extract the value from their business. They've left it too late. They haven't planned for it. They haven't actually thought about what their end game is, and 10 or 15 years earlier started to put things in place. Now, of course, stuff happens. Sometimes you get tapped on the shoulder and someone says, hey, can I buy you? And here's a whole bunch of money and it's the best deal ever. And you weren't even planning for that. But 9 times out of 10, stuff happens because you've planned for it. And 9 times out of 10, when things come at you in terms of curveballs, you need to know what your end game is so that you can say yes or no. And I'll come to that in a second. So yeah, one of the saddest things I see is business owners getting to almost retirement age and they just haven't thought about how they're going to extract the value from their business. And there's really only 2 ways to extract value from your business. It's either sell to another business, whether it's like a bigger corporate kind of company where you and your team in your business get absorbed into them and you become a business unit, or you become the Queensland division of their business, and you pop on a badge that says I'm now the state manager or something like that, and maybe you get equity in the business. But that usually comes with a golden handcuff period of anywhere between 2 and 5 years. But that's one way of extracting value, the value from your business, something you built, your hard-earned business. A bigger company comes and pays you for that. You hang around for a period of time, and once the golden handcuff period is off, you're either free to go and start up another business or go and do something different. That's the first way. The second way is building up that next gen shareholding. So really recognizing that that's not you. You don't want to sell to a bigger corporate. You don't want to have to report to someone. A lot of our members today said they would be awful staff members. So that's why they started their business, because they think they would be awful reporting to someone, which is probably true. But you build something meaningful and you build a great culture and you bring on other shareholders for the journey, and then you start to build up those shareholders. But this has got to be an active conversation to say, look, I'm inviting you to become a 5% shareholder now, and I want you to come in, and then eventually, as I retire or as I start to wind back my involvement in the business, there is an opportunity for you here to go from a 5% shareholder to a 30% shareholder or a 40% shareholder. And you've got to have those cash projections because you've got to plan for this stuff. Again, I've seen businesses get to a point where an exiting shareholder, an exiting founder is like, oh, I'm out. Here's my shares. I want to put them on the table now. And the rest of the business is like, those shares are worth $7 million. We don't have $7 million to pay you out. I mean, obviously, that's great if your shares are worth $7 million, but not great if you don't have someone ready to buy them. So it's a planned process. This is why knowing what your end game is so important, because again, if you want to extract maximum value from your business and your hard-earned work, it's going, cool, what's my exit strategy? And that stuff can change, but having a clear kind of, barring anything else happening, this is kind of my exit strategy in terms of how I extract value from the business. I'm going to now start to put things in place. I'm now going to start having conversations and taking action and finding a 2IC, and then once I found a 2IC, make them a shareholder, and then go, okay, how do we find more shareholders? Do we elevate from within? Having a conversation with those shareholders to say, you might be buying 50 grand worth of shares now, but my plan is to eventually exit this business, and if we keep going on this trajectory of growth, my shares are going to be worth $3 million or $5 million or $10 million in 15 years' time. Let's have a conversation now about whether that's something that you're willing to, as you grow and grow in the business, to take over and buy off me. Because if it's not, well, maybe now is not the right fit for us. So that's why it's so important to know what your end game is, to help you make decisions more easily and more quickly on a day-to-day basis based on where you want to take things. So using our client today as an example, he's quite confused. He's quite I don't know what to say. Do we go to the next step? What do I want? And I'm like, mate, your only action or work on is over the weekend. You've got to do some journaling. You've got to do some introspection work to go, what is it that I want? What's my end game? Do I want to sell an event and be a staff member, or do I like what I'm doing and I want to keep doing what I'm doing? Understanding what your end game is, and then having that conviction to go, cool, that feels right, that inspires me, that energizes me. And so then in the future, if your decision is I want to build something, bring on next gen shareholders and never ever be an employee, well then when someone comes to you and says, hey, can we buy your business? You're like, thanks, but no thanks. Like, just not interested. I'm here doing my own thing, building my own thing. Love that you reach out, feel super chuffed, but I'm not interested in that at all. Do you see how different that is? When you know what your end game is and where you're taking things, how you can easily say yes or no to opportunities that come up. Similarly, if someone reaches out to you on LinkedIn and goes, hey, see what you're doing, loving your business, like I'm kind of annoyed with where I am, but I only want to come into your business if I can have equity and like eventually build this business alongside you. If you know where you're going and you want to bring on next gen shareholders and that's the right person, well, you can say, absolutely, let's have a conversation about that because that is in alignment with my end game. Helps you make decisions so much easier, so much quicker, and it removes the brain fog and the confusion of having to make those decisions because you just know where you're going. So I hope that helps. Yeah, just really, it's a soul searching piece, really understanding where you're going and why, and then, allowing yourself to make those decisions, yes or no, every single day. Cool. So I hope that helps. Look, if you want to keep doing the business owner journey thing on your own, we have a ton of free resources like this podcast, like the YouTube channel, like our website to keep helping you. Encourage you to keep downloading all of our stuff and piecing it together to help you build your business. But if you just want some help, if you want to remove the guesswork, follow a step-by-step process, follow a roadmap to help you build an incredible business, I'd love to invite you to book a call, have a chat with us about how we could work together in Boardroom to help you build your business further and faster. So if that's you, if you want some help, if you're sick of doing this thing on your own, reach out. Let's have a chat about how we can help you build your business further and faster through Boardroom. Have an epic day.